All right, hello there, and welcome to this brief video. If you're tuning in, and hopefully you feel like there's some value in the video, but we're just talking sales training 101, right? The situation here today is what we're talking about is the prospect giving you the common objection that a lot of sales people will get. I want to think about it, or I want to wait, or think it over, right? Uh, so now that's kind of a tough objection if you don't properly overcome it, especially ahead of time, right? And there's different ways to overcome it. But what you really want to do is prevent it and avoid it, right? So how do we do that? One of the biggest things that we can use in virtually any sales situation to prevent I want to think about it and help overcome this issue is reasons why you would need business aside from just needing to make money, right? What we call a contest or a promotion that you're in, or a reason why you're trying to be the top sales associate or rep in your business, right? Now, do you tell them when you're first getting into the presentation? No, you don't necessarily say like anything until after you're engaged in a presentation with them, and you don't make it sound like you're expecting them to buy anything, right? A lot of times you're getting into the presentation with the concept of them not having to buy or be interested in anything particularly. Maybe you're wanting to be qualified at least, like they could get involved with it, but you're not necessarily assuming that they have to say that they're so interested. You just want to get the presentation, right? Or demonstration, whatever it is. But anyway, so you get into that presentation demonstration situation, you're engaged with your prospect at that point, right? You're engaged, you're taking them for a tour, or you're taking them around a car demo drive, you're showing them around clients, whatever it is. So you're engaged with them. Now you can talk a little bit more about this contest, right? You have one contest is the reason why you need to get a certain number of presentations for the month, right? You have a certain quota of present, you have to show this thing to two more people for the rest of the day or whatever it is. But then you have a contest that's a reason why you would be asking for the order now, right? Why you would be asking for the sale now at the end. The reason why there would be an incentive for you to go an extra mile or do something extra special for them to do business today, right? How to close the deal today. So the contest and also trying to be a top rep, right? I'm trying to be the number one rep in the company. And well, it's based on sales. That's just, you know what I mean? Act like you're not even necessarily like focused on that per se. Don't get me wrong. You're talking about it. You're saying, hey, well, don't wrong. That's based on sales and everything. I'm trying to be the top associate, the number one associate, or I was number one last month. I'm trying to do that again. And they'll kind of a lot of times respect that. They'll be like, wow, that person's trying to be number one in a contest. Well, you kind of said it in passing, but with enthusiasm, right? You didn't necessarily lay it on too thick. Contest, a promotion, or trying to be the number one associate or sales rep in your dealership, whatever it is, your office. So that's, you're laying this down from the beginning, and that's why you're so excited and you really appreciate them giving you the time to share some information about what you're doing, your demonstration, your presentation, right? So you're positive, enthusiastic. You're talking about a contest you're in. You're a winner, right? You're trying to be the winner. You're trying to be a number one, right? And that's based on sales. And that's you're kind of taking it away from them. They're like, well, what about that contest that's based on sales? How do you win that? They want to help you with it or something like that, right? That's the idea, right? It's giving them an incentive to say, okay, I see why I would buy this today instead of next week. This person's trying to win a contest, so they're really close to this sales quota, whatever it is, right? So, but that's some of the groundwork, right? A contest or a promo or a reason why you're trying to be a number one, etc. Now, and also during your presentation, you want to do some test closing and some yes questions, right? You want to get some agreement, right? You want to touch on value points. Maybe you're doing a merchant card account for a business, and you're trying to show them that, hey, look, your transactions are going to be faster. So when people are swiping their cards, are not, it's going to be faster for whatever reason, or give them some appeal that's making them think in terms of, yeah, my business is going to run not only smoother but also more profitably, right? And appeal to what they're thinking about. If you're selling a car, well, what is it that matters to them? And maybe it matters that it has a good horsepower kick when they put it into drive, or that's one of the main points you're kind of finding something for them about, right? Because you're identifying something that's important to them, maybe something about their previous purchases and lifestyle, you can get an idea of what would be important to them, right? So you're building those, touching on some hot points, right? Hot buttons for that prospect, a couple hot buttons. So you see how that would work, and that would save you money, right? Or that would save you time, wouldn't it? Right? You use some yes questions, right? You ask at the end a tag on, wouldn't it? Or that would definitely help you save some time with your clients getting through the line, wouldn't it? Yes, oh yeah, that would certainly would, right? Or so you're getting some yes questions. You ask like 2, 3, 4 subtle but pretty obvious yes questions, right? Certainly if you had that, that would definitely be a lot easier to clean, wouldn't it? Or you'd probably feel more like doing such and such if you had this service or this product, right? Essentially give me the idea to say yes. Oh yes, yeah, I would, sure, yeah. And say no. Then after you've asked a few, not too many, but just a few yes questions, and throughout your demo, your presentation, you're getting agreement that they would use it if they had it. If you like it? Do you see the need for it? Do you see the benefit to it? Would you use it if you had it? You would implement it if you had it laying here, right? You'd probably put it into place instead of this one, right? Or, you know what I mean? So you get a couple of yes, well, yeah, sure, certainly, and yeah. I said, well, if it was affordable, do you think you would get one today? Right? If it was affordable, if it was reasonable, or if the term was reasonable, would you get one today? Or if the negotiation or the arrangement was reasonable, would you get one today? Well, what do you mean reasonable? Like, was it affordable, or So now you're kind of isolating an objection down to as long as it's reasonable. Yeah, they would get one today. They would get started today. You got to use the word today. If it was reasonable, would you get one today? After you ask them, you like it? You see that you need it? This would save you time, right? This would be a benefit to you, wouldn't it? Oh, yes. And if it was reasonable, the terms or the arrangement was reasonable, or if it was affordable, do you think you would get one today? Right? So you ask them a few yes questions, and then you go right into isolating and offering a hypothetical if it was reasonable. Obviously, if. That's hypothetical. We're not necessarily saying that too much, but we're saying, if it was reasonable, do you think you would consider getting one today? Or getting started today? Or taking it home today? Right? Or maybe we could reasonably welcome you to the such and such family today? And then they say, well, I don't know, maybe, it depends, right? But you got them in the mindset of today. So that when you do go to close, they're not so much likely to tell you they want to think about it, right? You've got some agreement on if it was affordable, if it was reasonable, would they take action as soon as today? So these are a couple of the most powerful things you can do to lay the groundwork to prevent and avoid I want to think about it, right? Also, another thing too is asking, finding out who the decision maker is, and that could vary in some situations. In other situations, it's pretty obviously them, right? But other situations, maybe there's a couple of business owners, and you're showing a product or service to a business, or you're showing it to a residential person, or whatever it is. Maybe there's a husband and wife situation, right? Bottom line is that you might ask them, if it was affordable, do you think you would consider getting one today? You might ask them, well, who would be the most involved decision maker on something like this? Right? You might ask them that subtly before you even get to the close, right? Before you get to the close. You're subtly test closing. If it was like this, would you? Or if this was this situation, would you? Right? So you're subtly testing, but you're also finding out, like if they're, only if the situation really calls for it. Because sometimes they'll give you some fake objection. You don't want to necessarily bring up the object. You don't want to open up a can of worms by saying, oh, well, who else is involved in the decision? Sometimes you kind of assumed it, that they are the ones involved in the decision. But at the same time, you may be like, well, who's the main one that would be the decision maker on something like this? And a lot of times they will say, well, I'm the one that would decide that, right? So it depends on the circumstance and the sales situation you're in. But that way they're not telling you, oh, I need to talk to someone, or we need to think about it so much, right? We need to ask them. You say, also, starting out with higher terms, right? Keeping your terms high, and then holding out a little bit, and so that way if they do get the objection of, I want to think about it, or I want to wait, you've held out on those terms, so you didn't just drop right away. You didn't drop your terms or your price or anything right away, right? But when they say that they want to think about it, you keep it high, right? And you kind of take it away. You act like you're closing up shop a little bit, right? Like, hey, okay, well, it's not. I don't know what else to say about that, right? And then you might ask a question. Well, let me ask you. Like, with what you have available today, or if you were to make the decision as soon as today, how much too much did you feel that such and such was? Or what was the main concern that you would think you would have to think about? Or, kind of like you're smoking out the real objection. Maybe the one to think about it is not the most specific or real objection, right? There's something more specific that they're just not quite telling you yet, right? So you might smoke out that real objection, and then you can overcome that. But you're going to overcome that earlier in the presentation if you lay a little bit of this groundwork and you ask the yes questions, and then you go into, if it was affordable, do you think you would maybe consider getting it one today? Or maybe we could possibly welcome you into the such and such family today? And you don't necessarily put your hand down then, right? Do that when you get to the closing part, right? You're just like halfway through the presentation. You've shown a couple of hot points, they're kind of like, yeah, well, that's pretty cool, whatever, or they like what you're showing them, right? You're touching on a couple of hot points of agreement, right? Oh yeah, that would look sharp in my garage, or whatever it is you're showing them, right? Maybe you're doing them on a timeshare tour. I mean, surely you'd like to be able to spend at least 1 week in Cabo, right? Or whatever you're talking about, so you get the idea, and then they like, well, yeah, definitely. Maybe they said they've always wanted to go to Cabo and they've never been to Cabo. And then, then you reaffirm that as part of your presentation. Certainly you'd like to spend at least 1 week in Cabo before too long, right? You kind of put a little sense of urgency, the emotional reasons why they want to do it now, right? Why they want to take action. Now, if chances are the last time you thought about something like this, you said you wanted to think it. There's a very good chance that chances are, there's a good possibility, chances are you looked at something like this in the past and you said you wanted to think about it, or wait till next time, or wait until your ducks are all in a row, or the perfect time. But if you think about it, perhaps this is the next time. And if you don't get one now, when are you going to get one? Now, the terms that I showed you right here, such and such right here, now look, I can't guarantee anything. You have an expert, a third party, you have a boss, a manager of, it's like, but if there was any way, and then write out your terms fairly clear. Now, if you're shooting for, you're going to try to shoot for a deal to help get them something better terms or price or whatever it is, you give, you still write it out, right? Even if it's not necessarily exact numbers. If it was around 500 down and the monthly was such and such, would you'd be able to reasonably do that, right? So you want to write down the numbers, but after they've, you said, chance of the last time you wanted to think about it, you said, or the chance of the time you, excuse me, the last time you saw something like this, you said you wanted to think about it. You wanted to wait till next time. If you think about it, this is the next time. If you don't get one now, when are you going to get one? Now look, I know that I talked to you a little bit about it, the whole overall thing and everything, but look, and then maybe even take a moment to write. They're just quiet. A lot of times it won't interrupt you, right? Just write down something basic you have in mind to write down in terms of the terms or the price or some kind of change in the deal that might be more appealing, right? Maybe if it's not even that big of a deal, it's just an extra $100 discount because you're in this contest, right? You're in this contest. Like I told you, I told you I was trying to win this contest and everything. Right? You didn't lay it on too thick. You just mentioned it, but you mentioned it early on, right? With enthusiasm, kind of quickly. I know I told you I was trying to win this contest and everything. And I know that, you're saying maybe you were a little bit you want to wait, you think about it. You don't necessarily bring up the wording, but you're giving the idea. This is the impression, And I know that you were concerned about the timing, but I am trying to win this contest and everything. I just was wondering if there's any way, and I can't guarantee anything, because I was talking to my manager earlier today and wanted me to keep him posted. supposed to check in anyway. I figured, before I check in, maybe I could just run it by if there's any way I could get them to. This would be the such and such terms, or this would be the payment, or if you wanted to do, put it all on a credit card, or if you wanted to just, do cash and check. This maybe I could do even this additional discount, but I don't know because we're already doing this over here, or whatever. We're already giving you more for your trade-in, right? If there's any possible way I could get them to do something around in that range, maybe we could go ahead and welcome you to the such and such family today, or maybe we could go ahead and get you started today. Right now, you get a commitment before totally getting the approval from your manager, your boss, your home office. Call in, tell them the terms of the situation, and tell them, hey, look, well, they're saying that, like, you could say, hey, look, we're just gonna tell them that you're offering this and see what they say, right? You tell your client, like, you're on your client's side to a degree, right? So that's going to bat for them, right? So now you're gonna say, hey, look, there's any possible way I could get them to go ahead and approve an additional $100 off, and then also make this the initial payment to where you wouldn't have to. You could do a posted check or whatever it is, maybe like some easier terms of agreement, right? That would make it possible for them to do it and make the decision now instead of thinking about it, right? Because you're in a contest, and that's the reason why you're going through this extra trouble to talk about this extra deal that you don't always get to do, right? If that makes sense. So hopefully this helps you to overcome and prevent and really avoid, because that's really what you want to do, is prevent and avoid. I want to think about it. When talking about a contest, that's the reason why you need the sale today. Like, you don't necessarily talk about needing the sale today right away. Well, you mentioned it, yeah, by the way, I'm in the contest, so I really appreciate you letting me show the thing. How do you win the contest? Well, that's based on sales, to be honest. But, just the law of averages been working out, and then they'll be thinking, well, the law of averages, so this guy's just hoping that, people are going to buy this thing. Well, you know what? Maybe I will buy this thing. What are you talking about? Right? So, hopefully you get the idea and try it. Let me know if it works. Let me know if it works for you. Next time you get to that situation, don't go through a whole presentation without asking these yes questions, without touching them. Obviously, you probably know your presentation fairly well by now, and if not, learn it a little bit. Your presentation doesn't always have to be highly articulate. It has to have a few key ingredients, though. One ingredient is certainly asking some yes questions, test closing, right? Yes questions and test closing. Certainly if you had such and such, you would use it if you had it, right? Wouldn't you? Isn't it? Right? It's stuff to get them to yeah or agree, right? Now they're in the mindset of, okay, yeah, I see, I would use that. And they're saying, if it was affordable, maybe you would consider getting one today. And don't be so afraid of the number. Like when they say no, well, you'll always you'll still have a chance to do your close at the end, probably, right? So, just try it. Just check, They ask how much is it? It's expensive. Don't worry, it's under $6,000 or it's under $50,000. Whatever the price is, give them some price that's a little ridiculous, and then they'll be like, what? No, I'm just kidding. It's not that. It's only $39.99. Give them a little bit of, you're trying to sell. Yeah, of course you're trying to sell. It's not like you're hiding anything, per se, right? You're trying to sell. At the same time, you're not being pushy or aggressive, if that makes sense. So hopefully that helps. It's Micah Carter here with you, and I appreciate you tuning into this video. Let me know if you liked the video. Please do like, comment, and any positive feedback is welcome. Also, I have a brief webinar. If you're motivatable and business-minded and you're looking for the perfect business that pays daily, no inventory, bigger potential, even six-figure potential, and you can work completely at your own pace, I invite you to watch just a brief web video, probably below or above this video here. It's just a brief webinar on earning extra income. That's kind of, I'm just putting it generic, and you're not going to get any unrelated info. Certainly appreciate you watching it, right? Because that's what I count on, the law of averages. Maybe it won't even interest you. You may or may not be interested. I just invite you to check it out. I certainly appreciate you doing it. Now, and I definitely appreciate your likes and comments and shares. And let me know if this helps you overcome or prevent or avoid. I want to think about it. Whether you're selling cars, appliances, homes, real estate, timeshare, whatever it is, it's cash or finance. Were you able to overcome? I want to think about it better by talking about a contest, using your yes questions and building into if it was affordable or if the terms were reasonable or if it was, would you get involved today? Would you get started today? Could we welcome you to the such and such? Maybe we could welcome you to the such and such family today. Today. Don't be afraid of it. Just ask them. Right? Throw it against the wall. Say, hey, look, what do you say? We can go ahead and get you started. Right? But not in a rude way. You can accept no for an answer. That just simply means that they don't know enough. They don't perceive enough personal urgent value. Right? So that's what we're trying to portray to them, the urgent value, the economical reasons, the logical reasons, and also the emotional reasons, right? The logical reasons are going to justify it with, right? You say, like, that saves me money, bottom line, that makes sense, right? But the emotional reasons too. I've always wanted to drive a Beamer. They've always wanted to have that car. They're willing to, they don't care if it costs $10,000 more than they expect. Maybe that's a little, exaggerated, but you get the idea. The emotions are there. They don't want to put it off any longer. They've been meaning to get this done. This makes sense. They want to do it now. Whatever, insulating their home or putting a new roof on or, some cosmetic element to their house, right? Or whatever it is, some of the emotional reasons, right? Make sure you appeal to both, right? Take action now. All right. Hope you have a great day. Micah Carter signing out. Hope you like it. Bye-bye.